We're going to be delving into Order of the Phoenix. Specifically, we're going to be exploring the themes of isolation and rebellion as they relate to Harry's experiences and the rising conflict with Voldemort. And of course, all of this is coming directly from the text of Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see how all these elements kind of come together and shape the direction of the story.
So let's jump right in. We start with Harry, who's stuck back at Privet Drive, feeling totally isolated, right? He's dealing with Cedric's death and the knowledge that Voldemort has returned. And then there's that terrifying Dementor attack.
Right. It's interesting because that attack is more than just a scary incident. It kind of highlights the Ministry's denial of Voldemort's return.
Oh, absolutely. Two Dementors in broad daylight. It's like a flashing red light saying, hey, dark magic is afoot. But the Ministry just tries to sweep it under the rug.
Exactly. They're so afraid of facing the truth about Voldemort. It's like they'd rather just pretend everything's fine.
But as we see throughout the book, ignoring a problem doesn't make it go away.
Yeah. She lets it grow stronger.
And what about Harry in all of this? I mean, he saw Voldemort come back, he fought him. How's he handling the Ministry's denial?
It isolates him even further. He can't even talk to anyone in authority about what he knows because they wouldn't believe him. Plus, he's still physically away from his friends.
It's like he's being gaslit on a massive scale.
Right. And on top of all that, he's got this connection to Voldemort that's constantly bombarding him with thoughts and emotions.
It's honestly amazing he can even function. It really highlights how trauma and fear can impact you, especially with something as dark as Voldemort.
Definitely. And he can't even talk about it. I mean, who would he tell?
Well, the Dementor attack does have one interesting side effect. It forces Uncle Vernon, who's always been anti-magic, to kind of face reality.
Yeah. When his own son, Dudley, almost has his soul sucked out, even Vernon can't deny things anymore. And then there's Mrs. Figg, the seemingly harmless old lady down the street. Remember her? She reveals she's a squib.
Wait, Mrs. Figg, a squib. I always forget about that until I reread the book.
Yeah. It totally changes Harry's understanding of his childhood, right? It's like the line between his ordinary life and the magical world is suddenly blurred.
It makes you wonder just how many seemingly normal people are connected to the magical world in some way.
It's a question that pops up throughout the series, for sure.
Okay, so Harry's dealing with this intense isolation and a link to Voldemort that's basically tormenting him. And then he gets to Hogwarts, only to run into another problem, Dolores Umbridge.
Ah, yes, Umbridge. She's the ultimate bureaucratic tyrant, isn't she? Rules and regulations are her weapons.
She comes in as this high inquisitor, armed with her educational decrees, and it's pretty clear she wants to squash any dissent or independent thinking from the students.
Plus her teaching methods. She bans all practical magic and defense against the dark arts. It's all just dry theoretical lessons.
So basically, she's setting them up to fail when they actually need to defend themselves. It doesn't make sense. Why would the Ministry approve that kind of curriculum?
It all circles back to that fear and denial, right? They're terrified of Dumbledore. They don't want the students learning real magic, just in case they use it against the Ministry.
Talk about short-sighted. And Harry, of course, isn't going to just sit back and take it. He knows what's out there. He's seen it.
He knows they need actual experience, not just books. So what happens? Dumbledore's army is born.
This secret group of students who just want to learn real defense skills starts meeting in the Room of Requirement.
It's like a big screw you to the Ministry and Umbridge's control, you know? Really courageous.
And for Harry, it gives him that sense of purpose he's been missing. He's not just a student anymore, he's a leader, a teacher.
Absolutely. His own experience with isolation and fear leads him to create this network of support and resistance. He gets how important it is to have others you can rely on, especially when things are dark.
But while Harry's busy training Dumbledore's army, there's another group fighting the good fight against Voldemort, the Order of the Phoenix.
Ah, yes. This secret society put together by Dumbledore, all these witches and wizards dedicated to stopping Voldemort and the Death Eaters.
You see glimpses of what they're doing throughout the book. Hagrid goes on these mysterious missions. There are secret messages and whispered conversations. It's like this whole other war is happening in the shadows.
And the fact that the Order even exists just shows how much the Ministry has failed, right? They're supposed to be protecting the wizarding world, but they're so messed up that it falls on these smaller groups to actually deal with the real danger.
And then everything sort of explodes when Harry has that vision of Sirius being tortured by Voldemort and the Department of Mysteries.
That place is like a magnet for trouble, full of all kinds of secrets and strange magic.
Harry is convinced Sirius is in danger, so he and his friends decide to go rescue him. They break all the rules, fly to the Ministry on Thestral.
The Thestrals,
Yeah.
yeah. It's not a coincidence they're the ones taking them there. It's like death and darkness are becoming a bigger part of Harry's life.
And then they're in the Department of Mysteries, this creepy place with weird rooms and who knows what kind of magic.
It's like something out of a nightmare.
And they finally run into the Death Eaters in the Hall of Prophecy. That's where it all goes down.
That whole battle is a turning point in the story. It's this brutal fight between good and evil. The stakes couldn't be higher.
There are spells flying everywhere, prophecies shattering.
And then Sirius falls through that veil. It's one of the most heartbreaking moments in the entire
It's
series.
devastating. Sirius, who is like family to Harry, is just gone.
And Harry blames himself. It just adds to all that anger and resentment he already has, not just towards Voldemort and the Death Eaters, but towards Dumbledore, too.
Right. He feels like Dumbledore kept him in the dark about that prophecy that connects him to Voldemort.
And then, on top of it all, the prophecy itself is shattered. Nobody knows what it said.
So much for that rescue mission.
That shattering, though, is symbolic, I think. It's not just a lost prediction. It's about how fragile fate can be.
And Dumbledore shows up, drives off Voldemort. That's how this first part of Order of the Phoenix ends. Victory and despair all mixed together.
Yeah. The immediate threat is gone, but the scars are deep.
So what stands out to you the most about all of this? What's got you hooked?
Honestly, it's how they portray Harry's isolation
Right.
and his connection to Voldemort. It's just such a terrifying concept. And the way it all plays out against the Ministry's denial and the actions of Dumbledore's army and the Order, it's also fascinating. It makes you think about power, responsibility, and the choices we make when things get tough.
Picking up where we left off, Sirius is gone, and that prophecy, well, it's shattered. Harry's world is upside down.
It's like everything's changed for him. He's dealing with grief and guilt.
And anger, too, right?
Mm.
He's furious with Dumbledore for not telling him about the prophecy.
You can't blame him, really. He's a teenager. He's been through so much.
Feels like Dumbledore's been using him, keep him in the dark.
Which, let's be honest, Dumbledore kind of was.
But to Dumbledore's credit, he admits he made mistakes. He says he just cared too much, wanted to protect Harry.
I think that's important. It shows even the most powerful wizards can mess up.
It definitely makes Dumbledore seem more human.
And it lets Harry see that even when Dumbledore did things that hurt, it was because he cared.
But that doesn't erase the pain of losing Sirius. And there's still that prophecy hanging over Harry's head.
That prophecy, it's like this destiny that ties him to Voldemort.
It makes you wonder if Harry even has a choice.
But let's not forget about Umbridge. She's still running Hogwarts like a dictator.
Oh yeah, she's not going anywhere.
She's really the worst kind of authoritarian.
Yeah.
Uses rules to crush anyone who disagrees with her.
Every day. It's like she's tightening her grip on the school. Stricter punishments, no more student gatherings. She even resorts to violence.
You see how power corrupts, you know? Someone who claims to be all about order and discipline becomes a bully.
That scene where she tries to use the Cruciatus curse on Harry. Chilling.
It just shows how far she's willing to go to keep control.
It's like Umbridge reminds us that evil can be hiding anywhere, even behind a pink cardigan.
But you know what? All her cruelty, it backfires.
Because instead of scaring the students, it just makes them fight back harder.
They see right through her. They know she's just a tyrant.
So Dumbledore's army takes things up a notch, using what Harry taught them.
They really get creative, too. Fireworks in the Great Hall, swamp creatures running wild.
And don't forget that message on the wall. Dumbledore's army still recruits.
Talk about a power move. Those moments, they're so satisfying, aren't they? Even when things are dark, there's still hope and a little bit of humor.
It shows that even small acts of rebellion can make a difference.
And when people work together, they can stand up to injustice.
And then, of course, there's the Weasley twins. Talk
Yeah.
about an exit.
Pure chaos. They basically give Umbridge a giant middle finger and leave Hogwarts on their own terms.
It's like a breath of fresh air in a book with so much heavy stuff.
It reminds us that even when we're fighting, we need to find those moments of joy.
But while the students are dealing with Umbridge, the Order's still out there fighting Voldemort.
Yeah. They're risking their lives every day.
Remember when Hagrid comes back all banged up from one of his missions? You know it was bad.
It's a reminder of what they're up against.
Cleaning Grimmauld Place? That was something else. We really get a peek into Sirius's past.
That house, it was full of dark secrets, and it shows the burdens Sirius carried.
But Harry also finds something he needs there.
A sense of family.
Exactly. He sees those Order members as more than just allies. They're like mentors, friends.
It's where he can let his guard down, be himself.
But it's not all sunshine and roses, even with the Order. There's definitely tension.
Like with Snape, Those occupancy lessons were brutal.
And we see glimpses of Snape's own issues, all that pain he's carrying from his past.
And then Harry accidentally sees Snape's worst memory. Talk about awkward.
But it's important, right? We see a different side of Harry's father.
A side that wasn't so heroic.
It's like good and evil aren't so black and white.
And it makes you rethink everything you thought you knew about Snape.
It adds so much depth to his character. You can see why he resents Harry, why he's so bitter, but also why he was so loyal to Lily.
That's what makes this book so good. There are twists and turns everywhere.
It's a story about loss and grief, but also courage and resilience. And above all, hope.
It reminds us that even in the darkest times, there's always a reason to keep fighting.
So as we head into the final part of our deep dive, what are you thinking? What are you most curious about?
Well, that prophecy, I can't get it out of my head. How's it going to shape Harry's future? And what about Dumbledore's army? What role will they play in all of this? I can't wait to find out.
All right, we're back. Final part of our deep dive into Order of the Phoenix. And things are about to get pretty crazy.
Yeah, no kidding. The tension's been building this whole time, and now it's all going to come to a head.
We left off with Harry, devastated after losing Sirius, and that whole prophecy thing is a mess.
Grief, guilt, anger, he's got it all. And he still feels betrayed by Dumbledore.
Plus, he's got Voldemort constantly in his head. Talk about stressful.
That connection, it never goes away. It's like a reminder of the danger and that destiny that's pulling Harry towards Voldemort.
It feels inescapable almost.
But there's still hope.
Hope.
Yeah, I mean, back at Hogwarts, the students are really standing up to Umbridge.
Oh, right. Dumbledore's army. They're becoming a real force.
Exactly. They're taking what Harry taught them and they're actually using it. Challenging the way things are and fighting for what they believe in.
It's pretty inspiring, actually.
It is. It shows how even in a place like Hogwarts, where everything's controlled, people can still resist. They can make a difference.
They're fighting for the soul of Hogwarts, really.
Yeah.
Trying to protect the values that Umbridge is trying to destroy.
Right. Freedom, justice, all of that. And it's not just about them, it's about the future of the school.
And it seems like their actions are having a ripple effect.
Oh, yeah. Other students, even some teachers, they start to question Umbridge, too. They see that they can't just stand by and do nothing.
It's like courage is contagious.
Totally. And eventually, well, Umbridge gets what's coming to her.
She's driven out of Hogwarts.
Gone.
Okay.
Humiliated and defeated. It proves that when people work together, they can overcome even someone like Umbridge.
But things aren't exactly fixed, right?
No. Hogwarts is still a mess.
Dumbledore's gone. He took the fall for everything that happened at the Ministry.
And the Ministry, they're finally admitting that Voldemort's back, but it might be too late.
So now the war is really on.
Yeah, things are escalating, and it's harder to tell who's on what side.
But even with everything going on, Harry seems to find a purpose.
He realizes he can't keep running from that prophecy. He has to face Voldemort.
It's like he finally accepts his role in all of this.
Right. He's not just a kid caught in the middle anymore. He's a leader.
The wizarding world needs him.
And luckily, he's not alone. He's got his friends, Dumbledore's army, the Order.
They give him the strength to keep going.
Exactly. Love and friendship, that's powerful stuff. It can help you overcome anything.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Order of the Phoenix, what are the big takeaways?
Well, for me, it's all about facing your fears, finding your voice, and resisting those who want to control you.
It's about realizing that you have the power to make a difference, even when things seem impossible.
And it's a reminder that even in the darkest times, there's always hope.
Love, friendship, courage, those are the things that really matter.
And those are the things that will help us overcome any challenge.
That's a great note to end on.
It's been a pleasure exploring this book with you.
And to everyone listening, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Order of the Phoenix. Keep reading, keep thinking, and keep the magic alive. We'll see you next time.